To my listeners, how will their lives change on the 31st of January, or perhaps more on the 1st of February? What will change for them?
Well, I think we then get sovereign control of things, and then.
But what does that mean? I mean, if they have to go to Europe the next day, will they be allowed in? Do they need? This is what I'm driving at. How will their lives be influenced?
No, so in terms of those sort of things, we have negotiated an implementation period because we will then continue to have continuity for things like business to allow the free trade deal to be agreed, so that there's one change, not two, and that was something that many of your listeners who run businesses, for example, have said that they want. But we then do have control of things like immigration. We can bring in our own points-based system. We can have control. So, for example, put in stronger criminal checks over people coming into the UK. So we get control of things, but ultimately Parliament then can be truly accountable to the British people. And that's what people voted for in 2016. It's what there's clear message that I and many others got during the general election. And we can deliver on that democratic decision, get Brexit done, leave on the 31st of January, and then get onto a trade deal with the EU.
And how long is the implementation period?
It's till the end of 2020. So we're very clear we don't want this dragging on. There's a shared intent. The EU have agreed to that deadline. It's set out in the political declaration that this can be done by the end of 2020, and we want to get cracking with it.
I mean, there are many people, you'll be aware, Mr. Barclay, who say that's just not giving you and your colleagues enough time.
Well, they're usually the same ones, Nick, that said that we were never going to be able to change the withdrawal agreement, we could never get the backstop removed, that it was all impossible and too difficult and so forth. And then the same voices say this now. The fact is the EU themselves have agreed to this time frame. It's set out in black and white, part 5 of the political declaration, that we're going to have an ambitious relationship by the end of 2020. That's what we're committed to. That's what we're going to deliver.
And lastly, just explain the oven readiness of the deal, as we heard, whether for a conventional microwave oven, as the Prime Minister said, yesterday. Why is it oven ready?
I think the PM says it works in all cooking appliances, is the way he puts it. But because basically what we're doing today is we've got the deal, we've negotiated that, an international agreement with the EU, but that then needs to be put into domestic law. It needs to be put into legislation in the House of Commons. So that is what the withdrawal agreement bill is doing. It's taking that international treaty, it's putting it into the domestic law of the land of the UK, pass it through Parliament, get it done, leave on the 31st of January, and then start the healing process. Start moving away from people being Remainers or Leavers. Start bringing the country back together and moving forward, and then coming on the show to talk about other things rather than the fact that Parliament, as it was in the past, was blocking what people voted for.